What is up, guys? I am back again for another recommendation video. This time I'm going to be talking about a movie that I feel went under the radar. Not a lot of people know about it, I feel, because I think it was produced by Happy Madison Productions. I'm not 100% sure on it, and usually those movies kind of fall under the radar because they're not really great movies, because I feel like Adam Sandler kind of gets a bad rap nowadays for making horrible movies. And I don't know, don't quote me on this, but I feel it was made by them, but who knows. And it also kind of didn't get great scores on Rotten Tomato or IMDb, but I feel in my heart it's a hidden gem of a movie. And I just wanted to share it with you guys, and maybe you guys will get a kick out of what I'm talking about, and maybe you'll watch it for yourself and judge it for yourself. And I would love to hear your comments about what you think about this movie, because I feel not a lot of people know about it or ever watched it in their lives. So the movie I'm talking about is Dickie Roberts' Former Child Star, starring David Spade. And that's the reason why I say I think Happy Madison Production produced this movie, because, you know, David Spade and Adam Sandler go like 2 and 2. They're always together in movies. But yeah, this movie is just, I feel like it wasn't really shown, like advertised a lot when it came out. And I remember wanting to watch this really bad as a kid because it just looked like something that appealed to my taste back in 2003. How old was I in 2003? I think I was around 8 or 9, around there. So yeah, so typically, yeah, this is a type of movie that's going to appeal to a kid my age. So I'll just get down to what the movie is basically about. So it's about David Spade's character, Dickie Roberts. He is a former child star, like back in the early 70s or 60s, something around there. And I guess he was big, and he was on this TV show where he was a star as a kid. And he had everything. He had like what all child stars have. He had the fame, the money, just whatever he could want as a kid. But after that show ended, his life kind of went downhill. And so now as an adult, we pick up back when he is, I don't know, in his 40s now or something like that. And he wants to make a comeback. I mean, like, who doesn't? He got a taste of the fame, and he just wants to grasp it again and get into the limelight. So he hears about this role. Minor spoilers again. He hears about this role, this new movie that Rob Reiner is directing, and he wants to be the main character. So he auditions, but finds out that, well, Rob Reiner tells him that he's really not in touch with his inner child because he lost it as a kid, as you would expect as kid stars would do. Like, they don't get to grow up as a normal kid would. They just are basically an adult because they're like just photo shoots, commercials, movies, TV. They're on a schedule. They don't get to have fun with their friends. They don't get to play sports. They don't get to do anything. It's just like basically business. So Rob Reiner tells them that, yeah, he doesn't have what it takes to play this role. And so for some reason, Dickie Roberts thinks it is a great idea to relive his childhood. And that's basically where the movie picks up. So he hires this family to be his real family, and he lives with them for like a week or a month or something like that. And he tries to find out what it is to be a kid again. And it's just a lot of hijinks and a lot of falling, and I don't know. It's just a lot of slapstick comedy and little dumb one-liner jokes and just like snarky comments and sarcastic sayings, and just, he doesn't know how to be polite in the real world. He doesn't know how to interact with people because, I mean, he's been in Hollywood his whole childhood, so like, and his mom was basically a stage mom, so he didn't really have a nice group of parents to teach him how to live or anything. And so he's kind of learning from like step one how to be a kid and how to even be an adult. I mean, like, there's one thing in the movie that he is physically afraid to touch anything with his own hands, so he wears gloves all the times. I mean, like, he's really scared of germs and stuff like that. Yeah, he's just a little off his rocker a little bit, and it's just funny to see him interact in the real world and see how he expects to get stuff. And the way he does things is just like not a way any normal person would do something. like logistically. I think David Spade does a good job. I've always liked David Spade. I think he's funny. I know he's not like the best comedian or anything, but I think on SNL, on Tommy Boy, Joe Dirt, those movies made me laugh. So I know he doesn't get a good rap, but he is a funny comedian, and I get laughs whenever I see him in a movie. So I liked him in the role as a former child star turned nobody, I guess, as an adult. Not really many other big actors in this movie. There's a lot of kid actors, which I really dug, because a lot of child stars that were big like in the 80s and 90s, 70s too. I'll list them off right now because I don't know their names verbatim, but I have watched their shows and I've seen them as kid actors, and I just thought it was cool to see them as adults and see where they're at. Right off the bat, it's Danny Bonaducci. He was in The Partridge Family. That is an old show that was made before I was born. And I remember watching a few episodes with my dad because I remember my dad really liked this show. It's a good show. It's just about a family that sings, I think, basically. So he's in it. Corey Feldman, I think a lot of people know who Corey Feldman is, and he was a big child actor in the movies and stuff like that. Goonies, Lost Boys. He was in the limelight for a while. Dustin Diamond was a Screech in Saved by the Bell. It's also funny too because I remember one scene or a couple of scenes that he's in that because I think apparently when he was a kid he didn't get any of the money he earned on Saved by the Bell because his family blew it all or took it all away from him. So he was he hit rock bottom after he was done with the show because he didn't make crap off it. So he references that in the movie. Barry Williams, he was in, I'm pretty sure, Barry Williams, remember, these guys were before my time. He was in, Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch, I've watched that show numerous times as a kid. I don't know all the actors' names by heart, but yeah, he was a big child actor. Leif Garrett, I know he was kind of big back in the day as a kid. I don't know too much about him, but I know he was a big kid actor. Oh, like I said, Rob Reiner is in it. He is the director of the movie that Dickie wants to get in. Doris Roberts, she plays Dickie Roberts' mom. She plays the stage mom. So she also, in the movie, she's pretty hilarious because she acts like a typical stage mom would and doesn't really show any care for the boy, for Dickie, just really cared about all the money and stuff. And there's a funny scene that has Emmanuel Lewis in. He's kind of like the little child actor that I think he couldn't really get any bigger from where he was as a kid, so he never grew height wise. He always looked the same from child to adulthood. So there's a scene with him and Dickie Roberts in it where they're doing celebrity boxing. It's pretty funny. And I think that does it for the child actors, but for other big actors that I feel a fair amount of people know, Alyssa Milano, she plays Dickie's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. She's kind of a pain in the butt in the movie. Oh, John Lovitz is another guy that is in a lot of Adam Sandler movies, so that's why I feel that this could be a Happy Madison production movie. Rob Reiner, like I said, not a huge name, not a huge cast of people, but it still shows to be a pretty funny comedy. But like I said, I'm a guy who watches a lot of movies that have good reviews, and I just want to see it for myself why people like it so much, critics or viewer scores or stuff like that. But yeah, this movie doesn't really have that many great reviews on it, so take this with a grain of salt, my thoughts on it. But I really like this movie, and it showed me a good laugh as a kid, and I think I've watched it when I was a little older, maybe around 15, 16 as I grew up, and I still liked it the same. It's still a really dumb, humorous comedy that has some pretty dumb one-liners. He has a catchphrase, Dickie Roberts, "This is knocking futz." I mean, you guys could only guess what that means. I mean, just switch the letters. But yeah, it's just, if that's the taste of what this movie is all about. But also, a fair amount of the movies I've been talking about, this movie has heart, and that's why I like movies with heart. And so he learns something from all of this. He turns from an asshole into a nice, generous guy who realizes that fame and fortune is not all that it's cracked up to be, and it's not worth the struggle of going through all this chaotic stuff just to become a kid again and get a huge big break on a movie role. And yeah, he just learns from all his actions that he took while following this family that he bought to get this role. And yeah, he just changes, and he has a full 180 transition of turning into a jerk into a good person, and I like that. I like seeing a transition of a character in a movie change for the greater good of the film. There is also something very funny at the end, at the credits. You will see it if you ever watch this movie, where We Are the World, that song for Africa, and then they did one for Haiti, where all the musicians get together and sing the song, like all the big musicians, to help support Haiti and Africa. So they kind of do something similar with all the child actors, and they sing a song about, well, it has all the child actors in it, and they sing how it was to live as a child actor and what it was like for them. And it's really kind of hilarious, to be honest, just to hear them sing and to hear them sing about their lives as a kid actor. And I think it's worth waiting until the credits. And yeah, I don't know, it's just a catchy song. I thought it was something good to remark in this review recommendation. I honestly believe this is a movie that could be for the whole family. I mean, it is PG-13 because there is some crude humor and some like dumb stuff he says. No nudity, none of that, no vulgar content or anything like that. So you could watch it with your kids, but maybe like once or twice in the movie, just shield their eyes with something or like close their ears. But there's really nothing bad I can say about this movie or what anybody does in the movie that is really child over the age of 9 or 10 can't watch. So I recommend this to the whole family. Personally, what I give this movie, I would say I rate this a solid B-. I think it is a good movie. It's not great, but it is a good movie that I think is worth watching at least once. I think it's one of David Spade's better movies. I mean, he doesn't have a huge list of great movies, but I think this is one of the movies that is probably higher up for him. Even though it went under the radar for a lot of people, I feel it is one of his movies that is worth watching. Does it hold up? I'm going to have to say no, even though I really like this movie. I don't think half the stuff he says in it, even though it's not hugely inappropriate, I don't think it would fly in movie theaters right now. So I don't see them recreating this type of movie ever, or putting it something similar on TV, or just, I don't re-releasing it. Just anything that falls under that category, I don't see it happening for Dickie Roberts, former child star. It is a good movie, though, so watch it if you get a chance, but yeah, this movie doesn't hold up, really. 2003, that's almost 20 years ago. I mean, like, I know I'm a couple years off, but I'm just rounding up. 20 years ago, and yeah, things have changed. Alright, guys, so that wraps up my recommendation for Dickie Roberts, former child star. It's just one of those movies I feel like I should mention in one of these recommendation videos, and I'm glad I thought of it, because I even forgot about it for a while, but then I remembered, just like, this is just one of those really nostalgic kind of comedies, because I feel like it relates to a lot of older adults, because they grew up with all these child stars, and it would be fun to see them in a movie talking about how it was for their lives as kid actors, and I think it's just very nostalgic and a good watch for the older audience, and it's cool for the younger audience too, but I feel they won't get all the comments being said in the film. But other than that, so Dickie Roberts, former child star, I approve. Go watch it if you can. Don't know where it's streaming. I'm sure you can find it online. Like, just look up streaming services, or you can just rent it for probably $1 or something. I bet it's really cheap. But that will wrap it up for me today. If you guys liked what you were watching just right now, just don't forget to hit a like or leave a comment. I am curious to see if anybody has ever watched this movie, honestly. Like, I feel like I'm in the minority here that I'm one of the people that have ever watched this movie or even heard of it. So I'll be curious if you guys have ever heard of it. I mean, and while we're at it, why don't you just throw out your favorite David Spade movie, even though he doesn't have a lot of great ones. Just name some off that you think he's hilarious in and does a great job acting in. I mean, that's probably a few, but I still like David Spade. Yeah, other than that, maybe in the comments too, list down another movie you'd like me to recommend to you guys, or maybe list a movie that you would like me to do a movie reaction to. I haven't done one of those in a minute, and I feel I'm going to get back to it really soon. So, yeah, other than that, I hope you guys are having a great day, having a great month of October. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll see you in the next video, alright? Peace.